That was a lovely video. Usually, when we think about pre-primary teaching, we associate pre-primary teachers with lady teachers only, and it was nice to see to change that conception by this wonderful teacher. So, if you have passion, anyone can do that. Welcome again. Today, the second day of our webinar. The topic is EVS, Inquiry-Based Approach, how to transact the topic and to assess the learners through online and offline platform. Now, I request Father Xavier Daniel, the principal of MGM Higher Secondary School, Bhopal, to welcome all of us.
Good morning to all of you, those who are present for this session. And we all have the anxiety to know what is going to happen today after the session of yesterday. And we heard that the aim of this webinar is to bring life to online classes and also how a teacher should remain in the child's heart throughout the year. And today we are going to have another session with the topic EVS. And on behalf of the MGM group of schools, I cordially welcome Rajeshwari Madam to take off this session. So, Madam, you are welcome to take this session of this
Thank you, sir.
major. So you are welcome.
Thank you so much, Father. Thank you, Father. Thank you, team. Good morning, everybody. Morning, dear team. Very happy to see you all again this happy morning. And yeah, today's session is all about the environmental studies, how we as pre-primary teachers are going to deal with the environmental studies. Are we going to treat it as a subject, or are we going to treat it as a concept, or are we going to treat it as a foundation program so that the child is gaining the complete, the holistic knowledge about the environment the child is belonging with? So let's all have a small bit of activity now, right? I believe that everyone is carrying a pen and a paper. Yes. So
Yes,
can we all draw a house, please? Please draw a house and please try to show it in the window, please. Please draw a house and just once you are done, raise your hands and show it in the window, please. Come on, your time starts now, everyone. And please keep your mobile in mute, please. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, please start drawing the house. And once you're done, please show me in the window. I wanted to see. Yeah, you can start showing me. Wonderful. Wonderful. I could see a house. Yeah, exactly. Can others please start showing your house image in the video, please? Yes. Very good. Wonderful. Almost similar. Now tell me honestly, dear teachers, dear educators, do we live in that house, that type of house, where there is only one window, where the roof is like that, or where there is only one door? Do we live in that type of house? Honestly speaking, right now, the place where you are, is that not a house? Right? So we are trying to, what do you call, whatever we learned from our teachers, we are trying to pose the same thing to our set of learners. Where is thinking beyond? Where is the scope for thinking beyond? So today, our topic is mostly going to cover about how are we going to make our learners think beyond. If I change the question, children, can you think of, that is, can you imagine or can you recollect the shape of your house? Just think just keep in your mind the shape of the house and try to depict the house you live in. If the teacher is modifying the question like that, so what will the learner's choice there? What will the learners do there? The learners will definitely start thinking about the shape of the house he or she is living in, where there will be a stairs, where there will be a window in the left side, or whether the house is a big house or a small house, whether the house is a tall house or a short. So all these things. So the conceptual understanding will take place until unless there is a situation which provokes the child. Got my point? So today we will be trying to discuss about the elements that we have to cover in our environmental studies as a subject, as a concept, as a as a connection, which will help us to focus on the holistic development. See, before we begin with, let's try to understand what is holistic development. See, every one of us are talking about our school is providing holistic development. Our school is trying to give the best of the best with all the dinner. Now, what are the developmental traits we as educators we are providing to our set of learners? Now, what could be the parents' expectation, or what is that we have to provide to our learners? Let's think. First and foremost thing is, we are focusing on academics. That's what was the first goal, what we have decided yesterday. So in the first goal, we are going to focus on the academic structure, which means the language development and the logical development will take place. Do you agree with that? The language development and the logical development. The language development covers the listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. The language development covers listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. And that is going to help the child for the later communication skills. Yes. And the second important thing, the logical skills, which is nothing but the cognitive development, where the child is going to develop the analytical reasoning, problem solving, reflecting, matching, classifying, grouping, right? So all the thinking process will take place in the cognitive development area. So it means our academic structure mostly focuses on the language development and the logical development. Now, can you think about the other areas of development that we are going to focus in our academic structure? Taking this as a priority, the language and the logical, but the other set of activities are nothing but the creative development, where the focus would be mostly on the understanding capability. See, until unless we as the educators, we are providing an opportunity for our learners to understand the completeness of the concept, what we are trying to teach, the child will be incomplete to present. See, as a child, I might be good in narrating or briefing the concept, what I have understood. Might be my friend, my colleague friend is interested to draw and show the same concept according to his or her understanding. There is another friend who is interested to dramatize or act and show. It means according to their level of intelligence, the presentation happens, but who is responsible to make the learners understand completely? Got my point? So just imagine. Now, can you read this word? What is this word? What is this word? Car?
Car.
Yes, wonderful. So you are able to see this word. Now, the moment you are seeing this word, what comes in your mind? What comes in your mind?
Carpet looking like tree. Yeah.
Pardon?
It's
Yeah,
a red color.
you can think about the color. Wonderful. Then
Yeah.
The shape of
color.
the car.
the shape of the car. Wonderful. And the
name
size
of the
my car, the name of
Video is not
manufacturer. Yeah, and
the size of the car.
The name of
the
the
size
car.
of the car, the name of the car. Wonderful. And the
Ma'am,
reason.
this is my car.
Speed of the
Okay,
car.
whether it is my car or my friend's car. Okay, wonderful.
We can travel.
Speed of the car.
Okay, the reason travel it means
Who
is
is
that we
driving the
had in the
car?
who is driving the car. Wonderful. So it
Speed
means
of the car.
the moment you see the word multiple. Yes,
Rajeshwari, ma'am, your video is not visible.
my video is not visible.
Yes, ma'am.
I kept my video on, ma. I could see everybody and my video. Pardon me? Yeah. So can you able to see the video?
No, ma'am, no, not visible.
I think I kept my video on, madam.
No, ma'am. Same problem with me
It is
also.
not visible, ma'am.
I can't see you.
Maybe internet problem. Maybe internet
Okay.
problem.
Yes, father. But I now I have the complete signal.
Others
Yes,
are able
ma'am,
to see.
now you're visible, ma'am.
Okay.
No, you have it all. You have to mute and the video should be off. Then the madam, Rajeshri madam will come.
All right. Fine. So now, with this example, what did we understand? What did we realize? That any word or any picture or any concept need to be understood in a holistic way. It means the complete sense. So it means as teachers or as educators, I request everyone to kindly keep your mobile on mute, please. Yeah, Mamta ji, you can keep your mobile on mute, please. Yeah, thank you. So, so make sure that you are trying to make your learners understand the concepts you're dealing with in a complete sense. So give that scope every time. Make sure that the moment you try to show any pictures or videos or any vocabulary or any set of statements, make the learners to realize the completeness of the concept, so that you will know whether the child has understood the word or the sentence or the picture or the concepts thoroughly. So give scope for the child to respond. It means we as teachers, we as educators, we need to bring in the scope of provocation. We need to help the learners to respond to our posed question. So it means the more you use the inquiry based, the more you start provoking using the word and. Now come on, think. What else? Now come on, think. What is the better thing that you can? So it means every time using the word and or every time then. So it means you are trying to provoke the child to still more respond. That gives scope for the child to use the different state that will help the child. That is going to be a seed for invention. That is going to be a seed for innovation. That is going to be a seed for what do you call the logical thinking, extending the logical thinking. Right? So, my dear teachers, make sure that use the environmental studies topic with the provocation strategy. Along with the provocation strategy, you can create wonders with your. Now, say for example, yesterday I was trying to talk about the pre-reading, pre-writing, and the pre-number concepts. Now, what do you mean by that? How are we going to deal the pre-reading, the pre-writing, and the pre-number concepts? Because these are the 3 readiness program, which is important in environmental studies, even in English as a subject, or math as a subject, or even creative activity as a subject, or a rhyme and a storytelling as a subject. Right? So we treat it as a subject, but those are all the methods, the strategies that we can use to make the learners develop the pre-reading, pre-writing, and the pre-number concept. Yep. So today, to begin with, What is the pre-reading practice? What do you mean by the pre-reading? It means we are going to help the learners with the auditory discrimination. The first skill that we will be focusing is the auditory discrimination, which means we are going to support our learners with the listening and speaking skills. Now, you expect the child to talk, you expect the child to respond, but until unless the child is familiar with the vocabularies, the child doesn't know what word to use, what sentence to use, or what is the answer that he has to respond. So it means initially we need to focus on the listening and speaking skills of the targeted vocabulary for the topic we are selecting. Got my point? And the second important skill that we need to focus is the visual discrimination, which means developing the reading skills, reading with understanding. It means be it nursery, be it LKG or UKG. See, today, if you can remember, even a nursery child, the moment after 2 or 3 days, the moment you give a wrong book or the book which is not belonging to him, definitely he comes and returns it back to you, saying that, teacher, this is not my book. Or the child will be able to identify his or her own water bottle or a bag after 2 days of the school program. Why? What is the reason? The reason is the continuous observation, the continuous usage, the continuous, experience with the same object is helping the child to develop that perception. Got my point? That by looking at that object, now the way I show, what do you mean? What is this? What is this? It's a pencil, yeah. What is this? This is a mobile. Now, who taught us? Who taught us? Might be our teachers somewhere, or some of our elders must have. But even today, you remember this. You recollect the moment I showed this. You know what is this? You did not think. You did not think for a moment so the same way, the more you start, that is, the more the human brain starts using a particular word or a particular picture or a particular object again and again in a form of visual discrimination. It means visual discrimination is reading or observing or knowing that is the meaning behind the object or a situation or a word. That becomes the visual discrimination. And then the third skill is audio visual association. Now, what do you mean by audio visual association? See, the vocabulary is what you introduce through a listening, speaking, and reading skills. Those vocabularies, if you allow the child to use it in the multiple context, definitely that is going to help the child to develop that stimulation to know the completeness of the given vocabulary or a picture, right? So audio visual association is nothing but helping the child to use those vocabularies or that statements or that pictures or the objects in multiple contexts, right? Now, say for example, if I say the word might be might be the word dangerous. Now, yeah, the word dangerous. Now, I need not use the word dangerous only for the concept wild animals, right? I can use the word dangerous for any context which I feel it is not safe for me. I feel it is not good for me. It is not healthy for me, right? So it means we allowing the child to use that vocabulary or that particular situation related statement in multiple contexts. So that is called the auditory discrimination, that is audio visual association, helping the learners to use the vocabulary or the situation or the objects in multiple contexts so that the conversation skill develops. Thereby, the last element of the pre-reading concept is perception. Perception is nothing but helping, that is, the child is now in a complete sense, is now aware, is now ready to call out or use it in any form. The way you look at the book, but the moment you see the book, you call it, it is a book. And you know the spelling of the book, you know the usage of the book, you know when to use the book, right? I cannot use the book when I'm sleeping. I will use the book while I'm reading, right? So it means the perception level will take place once the child start knowing the completeness of the concept or completeness of the vocabulary. So in the pre-reading skill, that is in the pre-reading skills or the pre-reading program, we as educators, we will be focusing on the vocabularies which we are going to use for the concept or the topic we are going to deal with. Now today I'm going to take one example, right? Say for example, now can you see the word? Can you see the way? Yes, it is the word dangerous, right?
Dangerous.
For me,
Dangerous.
so use the word, because I did not declare the topic to my learners, but I just made my learners to just observe the word, and I'm going to help my learners to listen and speak. My first skill is auditory discrimination. So children, can we all say the word dangerous?
Dangerous.
Now
Dangerous.
say the word dangerous and what do you call, clap your hands or nod your head. You can come out, or hickalty bickalty bumblebee. Can you say the word with me? Dangerous. Can you say the word with me, children? Dangerous. So the moment you start making the learners develop the interest of calling out, responding, what will happen to the learners? The learners will start enjoying to listen to the word and speak out, respond to the words. Got my point? So for the topic, what the teacher is selecting, you have to list out the possible statements that you will be using. See, for the topic wild animals, might be as a teacher, I'll be trying to use wild animals are dangerous. This wild animals are dangerous. This is my the targeted statement. Likewise, I'll be having wild animals live in jungle. Wild animals harm. That is, they hunt other animals for their food. So these are the different statements I'll be trying to use in the topic wild animals, right? So that again, see, throughout the topic, I'll be trying to use only these targeted statements to declare that is the concept of wild animals, right? So to make the child develop that reading, because you cannot just say that for the pre-primary children, it is okay just to teach ABC or 1, 2, 3 or the pre-math concepts or not. And sometimes we are forcing the learners to read the spellings. But until unless the child is developing that perception of knowing what is a word, knowing what is the meaning behind the word, knowing where to use that word, the child will not develop that readiness to use those vocabulary in multiple contexts in the later stage. So my dear teachers, make sure that you are helping your learners to develop that skill of reading readiness. Got my point? So what you have to do for any selected topic, first and foremost thing is list out the targeted statements that you wanted to use throughout the lesson. Now, if I try to say about the topic fruits, fruits are colorful, fruits are tasty, we get fruits from plants and trees. So these are the targeted statements that you will be using for the concept fruit, right? So what could be the connecting words, that the words that you can pick up so that you can make the learners to develop that pronunciation skill, to make the child to develop that speaking skills, to make the learners to develop the usage of those words for responding. Got my point? So make sure that we as teachers, first and foremost thing is listing out the targeted statements. From the statements for the topic you select, pick up the vocabularies. After picking up the vocabularies, make sure that you are using the 4 skills of reading readiness. The first skill is, as we all listed in before, the auditory discrimination, which is targeting on the listening and speaking skills. It means you are going to make the learners repeat after you. The child is listening and repeating after you. That's your first skill. Second skill is you will be showing the word. You will be showing the word and make the learners to know the meaning behind. Now, just imagine there is a lion standing near to me. Children, what will is it good? Me, I have what do you call have that is touching the lion? No, lion is a dangerous animal. It will hunt me. It will harm me. Imagine a lion standing outside your door or near to the window. Can you go and peep the window? No, right? Because lion is a dangerous animal. Lion is a dangerous animal. Can we all repeat the word dangerous, children? Now, come on, touch the word. Now, I think in your page number 4, can you able to see this word dangerous? So it means you're trying to connect the vocabulary even in the textbook where the child is using. Because definitely in all your textbooks, you will be having some statements. So pick up, if you feel that those statements are important, please pick up those statements from the textbook, and then from those statements, you can start picking up the vocabularies. Got my point, teachers? And make the learners at least either underline. Now, can you see this word? Come on, underline. Listen, point, and underline the word. Now, repeat after me again, children. So, what happens? There is an auditory discrimination. There is a visual discrimination where the child is reading the word with understanding. Yes, and audio-visual association. It is dangerous, me going outside, because there is corona outside. It's very dangerous for me to go outside without wearing the mask. It is dangerous to walk in the middle of the road. Vehicles may move on me. It is dangerous to peep outside the window. I may fall. It is dangerous to touch near that is to keep my fingers near the plug point. Yeah, I may get shocked. So it means what? We as teachers, we are trying to help our learners to, develop the, that is the usage of the vocabularies, the targeted vocabularies in multiple contexts. Got my point, teachers? So this is how we are trying to, we can see how to use these type of things in the virtual platform again. Teachers, make sure that you are preparing the word cards, sentence cards, and try to show them. Or if you have if your institution is using any platform like Zoom or Google or Microsoft TeamViewer and other things, there is an option for whiteboard also. So you can just type that word on the screen so that the child is able to see those words. Or you can just send a message to the parents saying that write these words, these list of words. Like say, for example, my list of words are wild animal. My list of words are dangerous, wild animal, forest, touch, hunt, jungle, and live, right? So what I will do, as if I am a teacher, I will plan to send these words to my parents group beforehand and request them to either write it in the paper strips. I don't want any cardboard or something. I will just ask them to use a black sketch, and do not, and also inform them not to use a cursive writing, just to write on a piece of paper the words what you have listed. That's it. So then those things are ready, and asking them to keep those words right in front of the child. Got my point? So that the moment you start what you call introducing, the moment you start introducing those words, the child will start pointing out those words along with you. Got my point, teachers? Thereby, you are going to develop the reading readiness. So, because the again and again throughout the week, or throughout the session, or throughout the topic is get completed, you will be targeting on these set of words. So the child, you can also request the parent, you can select a small corner where you can have a word wall at home, where just you need not spoil the wall. You can just cover with a polythene sheet, you can cellophane tape, and you can start sticking these words there. Let the child see those words again and again. Got my point? So see, the pictures are there in the book. The pictures are there in the book, but the vocabularies are not being highlighted in the books what we are dealing with. And it is very important the child is seeing these vocabularies again and again. See, even during my training time previously, whenever I met you people during my training, I gave you this, that is, I was stressing on the vocabularies, right? Even the vocabulary stress can happen in the online sessions by helping the parents to know the usage of the word cards, and how they can place a corner using just a piece of paper and writing it on that, and just pasting it, and helping the learner to just point out. Now the parent can just call out the what do you call the words, and the child can just go run and touch the word and come. So these can be the play, or hit the target. You can the parent can just give a ball, and the parent can call the word, and the child can hit the target there. So those type of games can happen if you start helping the parents to maintain a word wall like this. Got my point, teachers? So I think I can also show a simple word walls like this. You can ask the parent to just keep a word wall at home, or like this, so that the child can enjoy seeing this again and again. It need not be a typed one. It can be just what do you call handwritten. But make sure that you are insisting your parents to write only the print font, not the cursive font, because none of the book is having the cursive fonts. So please reiterate on the type of fonts the parents are using. Right? Because I don't think most of the parents will be having the printer at home, so that they can take a print and do the work, right? So this is regarding the pre-reading skills. Now coming back to the conceptual understanding. Now say for example, now the moment you start introducing the words, now the child is familiar. Now the child is familiar with the vocabularies, right? Now you can start posing the questions. Children, can you see something here? Can you see something? Yep. Can you see something? Or do you see this animal? Do you see this animal just near your place? Have you ever seen this animal in your colony, children? No. Why? I think sometimes you must have seen this animal in your colony. Yes? Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, have you seen this animal in your colony? Okay, right. Have you seen this animal? This animal. Can you see something? This animal in your colony? Yeah, I think it will be roaming, or you must be having a pet. And what do you call them as? It's a dog. It is a tiger. There is a tiger. Teacher was showing you a tiger, an elephant, a lion. Why can't you see a lion in your colony? Why? Can you have a lion as a pet animal at your home?
No.
Why? You can have a dog as a pet animal. Why can't a lion? What is the reason? Because
Dangerous.
lion is a dangerous. Now, the word dangerous is usable for the child, right? So it is always very important for us to introduce the vocabulary, and then it will help the child to develop that is response when you provoke the child. Got my point? Now, yeah. Now, yeah. Now, teachers. Now, can you see something here? Yeah. What is this?
Scooter.
Scooter. Wonderful. This is a scooter. Now, have you ever seen a scooter moving?
No. No.
Does it move automatically?
No.
What should you do to make this? What you should do? You should. Okay. Have you ever seen a person riding this? Now, does your papa have your scooter?
Yes.
Who's having scooter at home?
Yes.
Have you ever seen people using the scooter? Now, which body part does people use to move the scooter, to ride the scooter?
Hands.
Which body part? Okay. Will you use only hands to ride the scooter?
Hands only.
So what are the other body parts you have to use? Yes, you have to use your legs,
Leg.
and hands and
Eyes.
eyes. To move the scooter, you have to use your hand, your eyes, your legs to move. So just imagine, say I was trying from where to where, from a vehicle to a body part. Now, children, the moment you get up and the moment you get up from the bed, which body part you use to fold your blanket? Now, which body part you use to brush your teeth? So it means what? You are making the child to think back to his experience. The more the teacher is trying to help the learners to think back, because children come with enormous experiences, but they don't know the using. That is, they don't know the what do you call the explanation, or they don't know because the environment is not allowing them to express. The reason why the pre-primary education has this environmental studies as a base, because this subject is going to give a scope for the child to develop a holistic approach, because there is a developmental taking place. I think Soma De and Anita, can you please keep it in mute? Yeah, wonderful. The moment you start posing the question, the moment you start making the learners think, there is a scope for the language development because the child is trying to use those words. Anita ma'am, can you please mute your mobile, please? Anita Singh? I think somebody's voice, that is mobile, is on. Just keep your mobile and mute, teachers. Yeah. So the more you give scope for the child to respond to your post question, the more the child will start thinking and relating to his experience. Because today teaching them this is what is the potato, this is what is tomato, when the topic is about fruits, or if not, see, today the child is having different experiences. There is no need for you to teach this is tomato, tomato, onion, onion. No, the child is not going to enjoy your class. Rather, now if I rather, if you can say, now have you seen these fruits? Now come on, go check in your refrigerator. Did mummy kept these fruits in your refrigerator? Did she bought these fruits for you for this Sunday, or for today evening snack? Did she bought these fruits? Now come on, go check in your refrigerator. So what are you doing? You're giving an exercise to the child to check. The child will be saying yes or no, or the child will be just trying to find to match the picture to the real objects. Right? Directly saying, children, now we are going to talk about fruits, and this is apple, 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 bana. So the child will not like all these things. Right? So please make sure. Yeah. Just a second, teachers. Give me a minute time. Yeah, can you able to see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
Now,
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
the moment the child look
Yes, ma'am.
at this image, the child will start relating, or see, as teachers know, sometimes we do a biggest mistake, like introducing all the content which is given in the book. Please stop doing that. Rather, please select the set of topic or the concept or the objects for at least for 2 days, so that the child is trying to get the complete conceptual understanding. Right? So just imagine that now my topic is about fruits, and I'm just trying to make the learners to match to his real life experience. So I'm just trying to make the learners identify. Now, children, did you find this fruit in your refrigerator? Did you find this? Have you ever tasted these things? Now, how was it? Was it sweet, or was it better? Now you will see the child responding, though it is even if it is an offline session, but still the child will start recollecting his experience. Yeah, I tasted this yesterday. It was really sweet, and my mommy, she bought it from the market. Now tell me, children, where do you get all these objects from, and what do we call this as? What do we call this as? We call this as fruits. We call these as fruits. Now tell me, where do we get all these fruits from? Then the child will say, either they will say, we get these fruits from plants, or if the child, my mommy got it from the market. Right? So it means we are helping the child to think about where, because these objects cannot happen just like that. So it means we are trying to help the child to understand where is the origin from. What is the origin from? So always make the learners to have the thinking process of where will we get this? Got my point? Then now, do we get all these fruits from a same tree, same plant? Think. No, we will get different fruits from different plants and trees. So that is the target statement. So the word different, plants, trees, these are the vocabularies that the teacher has to stress. Right. Now, coming back to the activity. Now, are these two fruits same? No, this is a small fruit and this is a big fruit. Can you think and draw? That is, can you draw apple on your, that is on the paper? Can you draw an apple in the paper which is right in front of you? Yes. Now, after drawing apple, can you draw one of your favorite fruit, please? Come on. Can you draw one of the favorite fruit? So what will happen? The child will now start thinking about the word favorite, and he will try to experience the word favorite and try to present it. Right? One of the fruit. Then now, yes, teacher's favorite fruit is watermelon, and it is a big fruit. Now, can you think about one fruit which is bigger than this? And I want you to call it out now. What is one fruit which is bigger than the watermelon? And watermelon is heavy, right? Now, think about one fruit which is bigger than the watermelon. Yes, it is jackfruit. Now, can you think about a fruit which is smaller than the apple and it is red in color? Yes, it is strawberry and kiwi, right? Now, what will happen if the teachers start doing such type of exercises? Yeah, the teacher, that is the child will now start realizing, now the child will start connecting to its experience, and slowly the child will start using the vocabularies. The child will start enjoying the concepts. The child will start relating the experience with the conversation. And then the child will now start showing interest in reading what is given in the book. So that there will be, the child will start to develop an object reading, then the picture reading, then the statement reading. So then slowly, the way we start involving the child with multiple activities, slowly the child will gain confidence and will master in reading out the frames of sentences or the frames of vocabularies. Here, nowhere I try to tell you teach spellings, because spellings are just it's an additional stress for the children in the pre-primary. See, the moment I showed you the moment I showed you this word, you did not say C-A-R. You said it is car. The reason is you developed it, the word as a perception, and you know the meaning. You must have used it. So it means the more the concept or the object or the vocabulary or the picture is being repeated again and again, the brain will start developing that perception skill. So we always complain that children forget, children are not relating, children are getting confused, children are not remembering during the exam time. The reason is, it is not the child who is forgetting. It is the environment which is not allowing the child to recollect. So it means the environment should be stimulated in such a way that the child is recollecting the thing again and again, because all the information are stored in the left brain. right? And the left brain is having too much of information, and to make the information to be wired, it means if the topic is about fruit, so all the information related to the fruit should be wired. That will happen only through reinforcement. So the teachers or the elders or the educators who are dealing with the learners of this age group should make sure that we are trying to reinforce the concepts again and again, either by showing the picture or saying those vocabularies again and again, or allowing the child to listen, point and repeat and use those words again and again, right? So by doing these type of exercises, the child will now start gaining confidence in improving the what do you call reading skills. Got my point? So that he is confident to face the primary education. See, in primary, the same portion what you are using in nursery, LKG and UKG is been articulated as that is a brief sentences there, but the concept is the same. So when the child is facing the primary education, by with the help of these readiness program of the basic inputs, like if I'm trying to talk about plants or trees, now if you can say very big plants are called trees. Now very big plants are called trees. Now what are called trees, children? Very big plants are called trees. The way the teacher is trying to articulate, the way the teacher is trying to reinforce the statement and again, the way the teacher is trying to help the learner. Can you point the statement in your book, please, children? Come on. Now, can you see the tree picture? And why it is called a tree? Because it is called what are called trees, children? Very big plants are called trees. So show the statement and make the child to point it and repeat after. So the UKG children, the moment their brain is motivated with that statement again and again, right, the writing process will become very simple. Got my point, teachers? So make sure that you are helping all your learners to get that, what do you call, conceptual wiring properly by your repeated reinforcement, by helping the learners to recollect their previous experience, by helping the learners to think beyond. See, now if I talk about the topic house, now so the moment I ask the child, now which type of house you live in? Do you live in what do you call now, do you live in a house which is like this? And why do you need a house? Now, for what reason we need a house, right? Your house protects us from sun, from thief, from animals, and from rain and wind. And that is the reason we need a house. Just imagine we all don't have house to live. What will happen? Now it's summer season and the sun is really shining very bright, and we are always, can we just live on the outside road? No. And just imagine if we don't have a house and we have many things at home. Now what will happen? The thieves will come and take all our things, or we will have there are animals which moves around, so even animals will harm us. Or if sometimes suddenly if we get rain, what will happen? We will be affected. So a house protects us from sun, from animals, from thief, from rain and from wind. So now children, now how does the house or your what are the materials that we use? Can the house happen just like that? Think. Can you touch the wall? Come on, go touch the wall. Go touch the window. So you're trying to make the learners, what do you call, have a physical, because see, until unless the child is given some sort of an engagement to respond, to participate, to perform something, the child will not show interest. So make sure that your visual method, auditory method, and kinesthetic method are simultaneously happening in all your classrooms. All your sessions should have the combination of WAC method. So please make sure that you are helping all your learners to use all the senses by asking them to touch, asking them to see, ask them to hear, ask them to smell sometimes for the topics you are dealing with, ask them to taste sometimes for the topics you are dealing with. So using the multi-sensory approach is going to be the essence for the EVS topics. So most of the time, try as much as possible to use the multi-sensory approach for environmental studies concepts. So environmental studies concepts are really beautiful for the learners to develop their, what you call, thinking skills, use their language skills, creativity. Now, after trying to talk about the different usage of house, the materials used for the house, or the objects we see in the house, and how should we keep our house? Should we keep everything disorganized? Now, how should your dream house to be? Think about how should your dream house. Now the child will start thinking about, yes, I need to have a staircase inside my house, and I should have a small garden. So you're making the child to dream big. Right? You can assign a project. Okay, tomorrow's class or tomorrow's session, I wanted to see all your drawings of your dream house. So will the child get engaged, or will the child feel bored? So here, most of the time, make sure that you are trying to make the learners get engaged with some sort of an offline programs. It's not that the child has to stay in front of the camera and then listen only to it. It's not like that. Give activities which are offline, where the child is trying to observe, research, find out, or to relate, or to compare. So give the scope for the child to develop these many skills of to improve its logical thinking. That will help the child for the creative development. So slowly, the moment he starts participating in the online program, the child slowly will develop the social skills also, because now the child is trying to accept the teacher's instruction. Now the child is accepting to show his or her work that he has enjoyed, so that he is aware that his other friends are also watching it. So slowly the child is entering into the social development. And once the teachers start appreciating, once the child gets that confident, yes, I'm able to do, yes, I'm able to find out, yes, I'm able to complete, yes, I'm able to identify, yes, I'm able to talk, I'm able to think the right answer. The moment the child gets all these things, the emotional development takes place. The child is emotionally connected with the program. Right? And the very important thing is the physical development. The more and more you make the learners to engage with some hands-on activities, come on, go pick up, find the objects if the moment you show. Now, the moment you say, in my house, I have a sofa, a television, flowers, a teapot, wall hangers. Now, just go find in your drawing room, or in your guest room, or in your hall, whether you have, or in your living room, do you have, what are the different materials you have in your living room? So the child will definitely go relate and then come back, or the child will wait for the teacher to come back to say or discuss or to share the objects that are. So it means every topic the teacher can plan for something where there is a scope for the child to express. There is a scope for the child to relate. There is a scope for the child to present something. Thereby, there is all possibility for the child to develop the creative development. right? And finally, the last but not the least, the aesthetic development. The aesthetic development is nothing but appreciation. So appreciating, that is appreciation of the self, others, the environment, the opportunity, or the objects around, or so it means the moment the teacher is trying to help. Now, say for example, now if it is a fruit topic, now imagine I have 4 fruits and my friend don't have I have 4 apples and Kaushik is not having apples at all, but he likes apple, but Kaushik's mother did not get apples at all for him. Now what will you do? Think, what will you do? Definitely the child will start thinking, okay, let me give. Now if Kaushik comes to your home and just picks up the apple and eats without asking you, is that a good manners? Now then the child will start realizing the life skills, the behavior, the personality. No, Kaushik should not do like that. Kaushik, the moment he comes home, he should ask, Raji, can you please give me 1 apple, please? I love apples. So I should offer Kaushik. So when I offer some help, when I offer my apple to Kaushik, then Kaushik should say, thank you, Raji. So this is how you are going to, along with the knowledge, what you're sharing, like knowledge is nothing but the object related, the concept related content you're delivering. Those content you have to transform into life skills. So it means life skills and values. It means always try to conclude the session with some sort of a life skill related or values related context, so that the child will start relating, the child will start recollecting and try to relate to the real life situation. So what are the do's and don'ts, the child will start reflecting. So this is how you can transact your environmental studies program. And slowly through your through your continuous support, the child will start developing the the thirst for experimenting, the thirst for finding out, the thirst for analyzing, the thirst for realizing will take place. Thereby, the child will develop the scientific temper through your EVS concept. The moment the child enjoys the scientific temper through the EVS concept, the child will rock the world when he enters into the primary program. Yeah. Now, any doubts? Any doubts? Yes, teachers.
Madam, you have said about the wholesome development of the child. I'm in a travel because may not be that
Yes,
audible.
Father. Yes, Father. I could hear you.
Yeah. Actually, you have said about the wholesome development of the child.
Holistic
But
development.
what actually are the areas of concern that we need to understand, or what are the hurdles towards the process?
See,
so if that can also be.
Yeah, see, might be the hurdles might be the understanding capability of the parent, because today the child is under parent custody. The child is not with us today. So it means the hurdle will be making the parent understand, making the parent to create an environment at home, allowing the child to explore the objects at home would become a problem. So it means the more we try to motivate our parents, the more we train the parents, the more we try to make the parents understand the concept by sharing the videos or by continuously giving giving the explanation about the importance of this concept, that has to go like this. Because many parents today are more focused on the spellings rather than understanding the concepts. They wanted to see academics are for them, academics is Academic success is nothing but the marks for them. They don't realize whether the child is able to relate it. Now, for the if I show different objects like this, different fruits like this, now the child should be in the position which is the smallest fruit out of this and which is the biggest fruit out of this. So it means the parent has to create an environment, or the parent need to ask. But if the parent don't have, that is, if the parent is not having any object, any real object, at least the parent is supplied with a textbook. So today the parent is expected to sit along with the child to pose the questions the way the teacher is asking. So it means the parent should be open, or the parent should have the mindset of asking the teacher how to deal with the child, to make the child comfortable in understanding the concept. So today I see the hurdle, that is the challenges. What I see is helping the parent to understand. So here we need to be really confident, and we need to be prepared with that what you call materials. See, now today I came up with all my materials. I made sure that I kept all my materials for my demonstration, so that at least the concept is clear for all my audience. The same way, see, your audience, for the teachers whom I'm dealing with today, so your audience are parents and also the students. So for the parents, they need to know how to deal with that particular topic to make the child explore the topic. So here you're not directly, so it means you're helping the parent or informing the parent beforehand. Keep these resources ready. Make sure that these, at least if you don't get the real objects, ensure that at least try to keep this page number ready for the child, so that the child is able to relate. So here the challenge would be making the parents understand, but the solution is helping the parents to know the concept beforehand and informing the parents, sending a message to the parent, so that the parent is making the child ready with the resources. That's what I think. I have given you the explanation, Father.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So any other doubts?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
How to deal with kids who are struggling with or difficulty in breaking up words?
Ma'am, tomorrow I'm going to talk about the phonics.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So I still didn't deal with it. See, today I have I help you to understand how to create the word frames. I did not focus on the spelling rules at all. So today our target is how effectively you are going to create a word world for the child. Right? So creating the word wall or word world for the child is very important. So make sure that you are motivating your parents to keep a word wall in their home environment, so that the child is able to see, observe, read, recollect, identify. All these skills can take place. Yes, and tomorrow we are going to deal with the phonics session, ma'am, and I'm going to help you how to chunk the words also. Don't worry. Yes, ma'am? Yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions?
If you have any questions, we can either directly ask or type in the chat.
Yes, ma'am. Is slow reading a disability? Is slow reading a disability, or it's common slow readers?
Slow reading is not a disability, because the child doesn't know that he or she is reading slowly. It is because of the environment the child is. If the environment is supporting the child to develop that alliteration, if the environment is supporting the child to practice the vocabulary properly with the proper pronunciation, definitely the child will not become a slow reader. So it means the more the environment is stimulated, the more the environment is helping the child to develop that reading practice by continuous alliteration of the words and statements in a rhythmic way using the correct voice modulation, so that the brain will accept the information, accept the vocabularies, accept the statements, and then the presentation will become little stronger. See, helping the child, scaffolding the child stage wise. It means, now say for example, the child has to read the statement. Now say for example, now if I show the statement, wild animals live in jungle. Now I'm going to help the child. Now what is this word? Wild animals live in jungle. Can you say this word? What is this word? Wild. Now the next, live. Wild animals live. Yes, very good. Come on, repeat again. Wild animals live. Yes. Now wild animals live in. Wild animals live in. Very good. Wild animals live in jungle. Wild animals live in jungle. Wild animals live in jungle. So if the teacher is using different the scaffolding method and the voice modulation and help the child to listen, point and repeat the statement again and again, then the reading practice will become really strong. So that's what I would suggest. Yeah. So I hope I have addressed your point, ma'am.
Hello.
No more queries.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Father.
Yes, yes, you are audible. Father, yes, please.
Hello, shall I go ahead?
Yes, Father, please. I'm listening.
This is Reddy, sir.
I think it's not for us.
Hello.
See, I'm just seeing the chat window, how to keep track of students' homework, how to deal with an uneducated parents. See, yes, see, homework is, let's not use the word homework, rather than can we use the word home assignment. And what type of homeworks you expect a child? Do you expect a child to write an imposition of copying the words? Yes, writing practice is important, but writing practice should be fun based. So it means give more scope for creativity, give more scope for art and craft, give more scope for depictions, so that the child will start presenting. And homework can be balanced between what you call speaking and writing, because both are the passive skills, right? So sometimes you can ask a child to speak out or respond or brief his or her understanding. Now imagine after the topic house. Now can you just what do you call, share your views about your dream house, or can you share the beauty of the house where you are living in, the surroundings you are living in, so that now the child will start recollecting all the information, and the child will start using his own sentences or his own comfortable viewpoints to break. So homework need not be just writing practice. Homework need to have a balance, so that the child will gain the confidence, creativity. Today, see, for the language skills, writing is the, what do you call, the last skill that we need to focus. Because see, I think Father has shared you a picture regarding the wiring of the fingers, right? So the finger muscles are still not developed. So the more and more we just make the child to use only these 3 fingers for writing, and the rest of the fingers are incomplete without any exercise, then the brain will not get that wiring properly, right? Because these 10 fingertips are the 10 fingers are connected with the 10 compartments of the brain. So make sure that we are giving equal proportion of hands-on activities so that all 10 fingers are equally distributed in their activities, so that the brain is stimulated properly. Yes. And second important thing is, the more you that is engage the learners with fun-filled. See, even today, if somebody is bossing us, we don't like. The teachers don't become the boss for your learners, right? By dictating or instructing them, do only this. Allow them to complete the way they wanted. They will do wonders, teachers. So please don't target or don't have that mindset how to track the homework. The children, if they are motivated, if they enjoy your session, definitely they will bring back some learning and they will start presenting to you, right? Yeah. Any other questions? Give us more innovative activities apart from the word frames that we can use to introduce words. Yeah, one thing is how, yeah, there is a question, innovative activities apart from the word frames that we can use to introduce the words. So if I would suggest word frames are actually the focus of the usage of word frames is more connected with textbooks, because ultimately until unless the child develop the reading skills in the later stage, the child's language development is not complete, because again our exam patterns or your assessments is mostly focusing on reading and writing, right? So those word frames are going to be the effective tool. That is one. Otherwise, if you feel that word frames are not going to be the helpful, then you can start using that alliteration, right? Now, say for example, now while the way you pronounce the word, the way you try to use the what do you call, the voice modulation to make the learners, you can use multiple techniques. Now, can you whisper the word dangerous? Can you whisper the word touch? Now, come on, touch the objects near to you. So it means trying to make the learners usage of the words in multiple forms, right? So I think that's how to improve pre-writing skills in the students. The pre-writing skill focus I'm going to target tomorrow, because along with the language, English subject, along with the phonics, I'm going to talk about the pre-writing skills also. Yeah. How to tackle the hyperactive child. When should a child start writing, and what should be the beginning step in writing? So there is no tagline for a hyperactive or a slow learner. Now, children are children. The reason why they are becoming hyper might be the environment is not supporting the energy what they have. Might be the environment, the opportunities what the child is getting is not suitable for the energy the brain has for those type of kids. So understanding those type of kids and providing the opportunity for them accordingly will help the child to calm down. So it means there are few kids who feel boring. Oh my God, this task is really boring. Let me know. So the moment they get bored with that art, they will start developing that fidgety movement. And that fidgety movement, we call it as hyper sometimes, right? So make sure that we understand our learners and then we try to help them to participate. That's what I can say. And what should be the that is, when should a child start writing and what should be the beginning step in writing? So as I told you yesterday, there are different stages for developing the writing skills. First and foremost thing is the child's gross muscle development should be focused properly. So it means the child's hand, the large arm movement, the position the child is sitting. So that's the reason first and foremost thing is let's focus on the large muscle development of the child, and slowly we can focus on the arm movement, elbow movement, wrist control, palm control, then the fist control. So it means everything has a stage. So we need to come out with the activities which have the different gauze muscle type of task, where the child is now, if you are trying to talk about standing line, sleeping line, instead of directly forcing the child to write on the 4 lines, first allow the child to know the movement. Now for the standing line, what is the concept? Up and down. Come on children, can we all move our hands up and down, up and down? Come on, look, your eyes should see your hand now. Up, down, up, down. So what happens? The child is now following the pattern, and slowly now, come on, now you can show. You can show the line now. Now I want you all to think now. Imagine this line in your eyes. Close your eyes and move your hand up and down, up and down. So this is how you can engage. That is, first make the learners to develop that pattern in the mind. Thereby, slowly you can help the child to perform the same pattern on the paper, on a plain paper. Then limit the child with what you call the 4 lines. So do not restrict the child to write only on the 4 line, because that movement will actually hinder the brain development. Yes. Anything else? Yes.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I listen your point, auditory discrimination, where
Yeah.
listening and speaking is involved there.
Yeah.
But ma'am, 1 or 2 children are there. They know listening, they learn each and everything what I am teaching. But when we are asking the questions, or when we are asking the rhymes, they were not able to say anything. And at the other hand, when we open our smart board, and the same time that same child will raise their hands shouting. So in that condition, how we will tackle that child, and how we will improve their
it means now I could see that this type of child is more a visual learner. It means the moment you show something, the child is not auditory. The child is more visual and kinesthetic here. So it means the child's brain, it's not that the child doesn't know the answer. The child is able to recollect. The child doesn't forget. It is only the child need that stimulation. It means if you expect the child to respond, then show the picture, so that it is going to wire, that is, it is going to help the child to respond. So it means the visual learners have their own way to respond to the situation. I think to make that those type of kids to participate, I think you need to play with the visuals, ma. It's not that you are going to depend only on the smart board. You can also use the charts or simple drawings,
flashcards also. Yeah.
Flashcards and other things, so that that will help the child to relate to his experience. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. So, any other doubts?
Hello. Hello.
Yes,
yeah. Ma'am, good morning. Actually, ma'am, I want to ask you, sometimes what happens, we teach any words or spellings or in phonic language or anything, when the child goes home, we just tell him to practice or do the work. He does his work, but the pronunciation what we teach him in school is different from home, because parents what they teach is different pronunciation.
Yeah.
So at that time, what should we do? How to deal with that?
See, one thing is you cannot expect the parent to learn the phonics, because definitely parents. And one more thing is, which subject you are dealing with? Are you dealing environmental studies or the English as a subject? See, every subject has its own way to deal with. See, if you wanted the child to learn the words, in what do you call, in EVS subject, then you have to teach them only the frame of words, not the phonic sounds. Do not teach them lion, L-I, or else the spellings of the you're not expected to say L, E, or N. You can't do that, because most of the environmental studies related words are object related words, and phonics that is object related words doesn't suit the phonic rules, because all the object related words or the name of the object will not come under phonic rules. So it means we are not supposed to teach words, EVS words using phonics. It has to be just now, say for example, if it is a word, if it is a word apple, I have to teach, I have to show the picture and make the child to call the word apple, apple. Come on, listen, point the picture and point the word apple. So this is how. So it means this will register as a frame in the child's mind. So that is the reason most of your EVS books are with the picture and the word, picture and the word. Got my point? Do not teach them with the spellings, or do not use the phonic sounds to teach the EVS related object words. Yes? Because phonics should be used only for what do you call, English as a subject, where the pattern is again different. Is it clear?
Yes,
right.
thank you.
Yeah. So any other questions? I think, Father.
Now one more question in the chat.
The child is repeating. If the child is repeating in the same class again because she was not up to her grades, and her parents want to continue in the same class, so her base will be strong. So how can we help the child, because she will be with the new friends and will she be able to adjust with them, and same course which she had done last year? So what is the reason? What is the reason the child is repeating in the same class? Is the child's speaking skills not good, or listening skills not good? And what is that? Is the child not meeting the age level expectation for the grade? So why is the child not promoted to the next grade? Might be the age. So it means we, if the child is not meeting the age level, it means we did a mistake to admit the child at the beginning. So at the time of admission only, we need to take care of the age. If the child is below the age level for the grade we are done. So please take care of all these things. 3.5, 4.5, and the 5.5 year child. So 3.5 to be nursery, 4.5. So try to make sure that these type of adjustments are taken care, so that there is they are not giving any emotional disturbance for all learners, right? And repeating in the same class for the pre-primary, I feel it is really disturbing, and definitely there will be lots of emotional. So a teacher should be a main supporter. A teacher should make sure that the child is not experiencing any discomfort. So again and again, the teacher has to just say, they are your new friends. They are going to enjoy with you. Teacher is there to be your good friend every time. So anything, please let me know. If you're not able to write, let me know whether you are able to complete it or you want some help. So every time assuring the child that I am there, don't worry. So giving that score for the child will motivate for the better performance. Yep. At times, teacher pronunciation being wrong, students also learn the same way. Yeah, very true, Father. Very true. So the pronunciation matters a lot. So you before you teach something, or before you telecast something or broadcast something, ensure that your pronunciation is stronger. you are confident in pronouncing your mouth position, your accent, your voice modulation. Check on all these things and then telecast it. Yeah. Uh, yes. So thank you, dear participants. Hope the session inputs were useful for the day, and we will meet you all tomorrow with a new learning, with a new approach, and we will be dealing with the English as a subject and how to deal with the phonetics.
To the principal of Reputed School, Rajeshwari ma'am, and to everyone. I'm sharing my experience, actually our experience. We did WhatsApp video teaching during this lockdown. So instead of the online classes, we preferred recorded video teaching for the student. As might be parent are working, and the basic thing is we can't let a child sit for a limited period like 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. So we decided to give the recorded video to the parents. So first, we made WhatsApp group for different classes, and the parents were added via link. And some parents get their problem also that they were not added, they were not able to get added. So there also our school especially helped them to get added in the group. Okay, then in the group we are sending recorded videos of different topics, and different days are allotted for different subjects. Um, we are sending pictures of books and copies also, and since the group WhatsApp group is one-sided, but we open the group for the parent for a limited time period so that they can ask their queries and doubts regarding the videos which we are sending. So we plan to send the recorded videos, and then the problem started. Actually, that was not actually the problem. That all was our mindset. We were having problem that how we will tackle the phone, or there was sound problem, light problem. Where should we keep the phone? So their problem started, and actually that all was our mindset. But gradually we improved ourselves, and now we are sending good videos with good contents, and parents are also appreciating, and our videos are totally based upon the Playway methodology. And the basic problem in making video for these little tiny tots was that it should be presentable, and the duration should be less, and there should be some fun factors as they could enjoy. So the answer to all this question was to adopt Playway methodology in our videos. So we added it. So if anyone will see our videos, it is so enjoyable and simple that anyone can teach through our videos. The next problem which we faced were editing and merging of the videos. So we downloaded the apps, we learned how to merge it, how to edit it, and then the storage problem was also there. So we were planning to system, and the last problem was that we are sending views, but that child not last. Very man gave an idea that we can call in so we definitely and experience of online teaching, it definitely any problem in it, and now got all the issues. We are belted this now we are getting action. And make a how and result was there were
100 were in the group. So, big success. The beginning, we are implementing some solutions. So that's it, what we experienced. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I think we have lost the connectivity. We were not able to hear Teacher Sonali Kumari properly.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
I think these were the issues which were faced by most of the schools, and now teachers are coping with these things and going ahead with much energy and passion. To conclude the session, I would like to invite Father Dr. Biju George, who is heading MGM Quiet School at Subhash Nagar, Bhopal. Father, please.
Thank you, Achin. Raja Rajeshwari ma'am, thank you very much for a wonderful session today.
Thank you, Father.
Now it become like you become part of MGM group. Last year also we were together, and this year also we could have such a wonderful session. Ma'am has spared a lot of time for all of us to focus our view towards the policy development of our children. You have shared a lot of experience and knowledge to make us perfect teachers, to make your teaching more interested for our children. Really, it was a wonderful moment, and you have focused to use the multi-sensory approach. It was really a new term we have got. Now, on behalf of the President Bishop of Tirumeni, Father Joshi Varghese, who is the Diocesan Education Officer, who is arranging all this program, on behalf of all the fathers, all the vice presidents, all the principals, and all the participants, the teachers, I would like to express my sincere thanks to you. May God bless you and give you more and more opportunities to strengthen more teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's all the good blessings.
Thank you, Father, for your kind words. Thank you, ma'am, once again.
Thank you, Father. Thanks for all the opportunity, Father. Thank you, team. Thank you so much for being a lovely audience today. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day ahead, and let's meet
Tomorrow. Yeah.
at the same.